How's everyone doing today? My name is CJ Halleck with cjhalleck.com, and in this video I'm going to show you how to sign up for hosting and get a free domain. So we're going to start by going to myhostlink.com, and that is myhostlink.com. This is an affiliate link. I will receive compensation for that, just being 100% transparent here. So now that you're here, this is going to take you to the shared business hosting page, and this is where you're going to go ahead and decide which plan or package works best for you. There's Launch, Power, and Pro. Each of these supports a different number of websites. If you're going to start small with 1 or 2 websites, you would go Launch. If you're up to 6 sites, you would do Power, and then of course Pro is unlimited across the board. The only way you would need to upgrade from here is if you are doing a lot of traffic and you need more resources and don't need to actually share your resources with the people that you will be sharing with on a package such as these that are shared hosting. So you'll look through, you'll decide which one you want, whether it's 2 sites or 6 sites, unlimited, so forth and so on. Once you make that decision, then you're going to come down, scroll to the bottom, and then from here you're going to decide whether, which package you want and look at how long you're going to actually sign up. So you'll see the prices start at one rate and it goes to a lower rate. And sorry, I almost forgot what it was. In Launch, you'll see, if you register for 1 year, your average is $6.99 a month, 2 years, $5.99. So, and you'll see it changes on each of these. So we're just going to go ahead and register for 1 year, and it's going to go through and start the checkout process. The next thing you're going to want to do is choose if you want to upgrade. Basically, I'm going to click no thanks. I already covered the plan, so there's no need to upsell. So the next thing you're going to do is make sure you have the right data center. Basically put, especially if you're a local business that serves a specific region, you'll want to make sure you choose the data center that is closest to you. So I'm going to go ahead and keep it at Washington, D.C. We're going to make sure no thanks is checked under the auto installer. We're going to go ahead and install WordPress at a later time to make it easier for you, and it'll make sense when we get to that part in the training. So next thing is to click continue. And then you're going to, next step would be moving forward to decide if you're going to purchase a new domain with this, which is going to be free for the first, the initial registration cost. And if you already have a domain you want to use, you can go ahead and click I already have this domain. But since we're registering a new domain, we're going to go ahead and type in our domain and click search. Now that the results have come back, it shows that the domain is available. It will suggest other domains. We're going to click add to cart. You'll see the different things here. You can have your primary domain, all that information there. And then down underneath where you see the domain and then you see domain privacy, that is to make sure that your information is not displayed publicly through a whois reverse lookup. I highly recommend that you do this. It will stop a lot of telemarketers from reaching out to you about web design or SEO and these other services that people offer through mass telemarketing. If you wish to not choose this, you can change that on the next page. But for right now, like I said, I would highly recommend to do the domain privacy. I promise you it'll be worth it in the long run. So we're going to go ahead and click on continue. This is where you're going to make your choice whether or not you want to have the privacy registration. I'm going to keep it protected and I'm going to click continue. Now you're going to set up your account. So you're going to just enter in your email address and then we're going to move forward putting in our information. I have sped this up and of course blurred this out because this is for a client's account, so I can't display their information publicly, nor would I display mine. But enter in your email address, click continue, and then the next step is to put in all your information and your payment information, your personal and payment information, name, everything else. So please take this time to pause the video if you need to finish this section and then move forward with the next step. Now here's where you need to make sure all the information is correct. Your billing address, Make sure that you don't click the wrong state. Make sure everything's good. Then we're going to click agree under the terms of agreement. Click checkout. Now you have officially signed up for InMotion hosting. There's only a few more things you need to do. You need to check your email. You'll get an email to verify your account and set your password. Please make sure you do that moving forward. Other than that, you're set up and ready to go. All right, so if you've gotten this far and you're seeing this, you should already have your domain and hosting with InMotion hosting, or at least you're hosting with InMotion and a domain somewhere else like HostJack or maybe GoDaddy. So if you do not have the domain with InMotion, you'll want to make sure that you go over and set your name servers and create an add-on domain in the cPanel, which you can watch those videos in my YouTube channel. I have those videos walkthroughs for you. But for right now, we are on InMotionHosting.com. We're going to go ahead and log in and get started building our site. You're going to use your email and password you created. Click I am not a robot and go ahead and log in. This is going to take you to the account management panel where you will be going over to your cPanel. So we're going to scroll down and click on cPanel. And once you're here, you're going to want to come down, and when you see WordPress, you can also, which takes you to the same place, do soft list that one. I can't talk today. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this, and then we're going to click on WordPress here and hover over WordPress and click on install. Make sure the protocol is http:// and then choose the domain that you're wanting to install WordPress on, and then come down. You're not going to touch anything in the directory. Don't touch any of the site settings. Then right here, you're going to go ahead and create a username and a password. I would recommend go ahead and follow the same username and password I'm using, which is start for the username and then #delete for the password. You're going to be using this again when we install the template. It's going to go ahead and create another user with this information, so I'd recommend using that. And then just go ahead and enter in your email address here, and then you're going to come down to the bottom, uncheck any of the selected plugins that are checked, open the advanced options, and the database name, it needs to be 5 characters, and it needs to be something that's familiar to your site. So for instance, for me, I'm going to just do SHMGA as a shortcut for SHMOOGA. I'm not going to touch anything else as far as the settings. I'm going to come down here, put in my email address, and click install. And this is going to go through and install WordPress for you, install your database, get all the settings set up for you to get everything rolling. Sometimes this can take a few minutes. It does say it may take 3 to 4 minutes. I have had a few that take about 7 to 8. But for most of the part, most of the time, as you see here, it really goes through fairly quick. So once you're done with that, you're just going to come down where it says administrative URL, and if you click this one from inside of your control panel, it has a bypass, so you don't have to log in. If you do need to log in and you have to stop at this point and come back, this is the URL you will be putting in, not in the SHMOOGA, but you would do yoursite.com/wp-admin, and that's how you get to the login page. So for right now, we're going to go ahead and click on this, get us into the back end of the website, and the first thing we're going to do is come down here to plugins and do add new, and we're going to go ahead and install a plugin that's going to allow us to install the dummy content template, if you will, that I built for you guys. So we're going to do WP clone, hit return, and then we're going to install now, and it's WP clone by WP Academy. Make sure it says WP Academy right here. So we're going to click install now. Once it's installed, click activate. Alright, so once that is finished, you're going to come over to WP Clone and click restore from URL. And what you're going to do is you're going to type in http:///str82work.com. And this is the install file with all the content, plugins, everything you need to make this site. And you don't have to have that, but it does cut quite a bit of time setting all those plugins up and everything else. So I'm going to go ahead and do I agree and click restore from URL and OK. Now, while this goes through the steps, I want to cover a couple things with you. For beginners, I want to talk about the speed that I'm going to build this site. I've already laid out how I want the website to look, and I have a good idea for what I want, as well as content. I have, folders open over in my other monitor with the pictures and stuff that I'm going to use. And of course I have some more here. And then I have a Word document or a Notepad document, text file with all the content, written content that I'm going to use for the homepage. This is not something set in stone. There may be a few things as I'm building the site that I may change in the process. Nothing is set in stone. And remember, as you're building the website, that there's nothing you can do that is going to ruin your site aside from, like Gary says, not starting. So we're going to keep going through the site. Now, as you notice, it does take a while to do the backup. From time to time when you're doing the backup, or if you're installing plugins or updating plugins or themes or whatever, you may get a scheduled brief scheduled maintenance or something like that, little warning that'll pop up, which is basically just saying that it can't display the website because the pieces of the website, the code that needs it to work, is not fully there because it's in the process of updating it. So if you are still waiting for your site to load, you can go ahead and walk away, go get you a cup of coffee, or grab you a bite to eat and come back to it. I'm going to go ahead and sit here and wait for this to finish. And I'm going to go ahead and time lapse this so you guys don't have to wait with me. And I'll be back in a second. Okay, so right now we have had a chance to sit and wait and let this go through. So if you actually come over and go to the website itself, you will see a coming soon, like under construction page. Very plain. It just, sorry, we're under construction, Bill Ivan soon, whatnot. And that means it is complete and good to go. So what you're going to need to do now is come over here off the end of your extension, the .com, and do a /wp-admin. And this is going to take you to the login page. And so right here, and real quick, this is a custom landing page for the custom login page. You can change this and edit this or take it back to the original one or whatever. It's a plugin. We're going to I'll show you where it's at to edit this. I'm not going to change anything. So you're going to go ahead and log in. We're going to do start, #delete for the password. Start, not starty. So once again, username start, password is #delete. I got it highlighted here, #delete. So you're going to go ahead and put that in and click log in. This is going to go ahead and get you into your site. Don't worry about clicking remember me. We're going to delete this user real quick. And you're going to do that by coming down the left sidebar and clicking on users. And there's the users. So of course you can't delete because there's no other users. So the first thing we're going to do is click add new and create us a user. So I'm going to go ahead and do username, email, first name, last name, website. And you want to make sure your protocol is right here. So if you don't have a security encryption, you want to make sure that it's just HTTP, but I know mine does, so I'm going to go ahead and add the S. And I would recommend putting in your website. If you're building the website with this tutorial and you don't have a separate website, then make sure you put SHMOOGA.com if that's your website right there. You want to make sure this is checked. Change this to administrator and click show password. This is where you set your password. Follow along with this suggestion box or strength indicator here and make sure it says strong. You can sign up if it's medium, but I would not do anything unless it's because if you see it's weak, you'll have to confirm it, and the reason you have to confirm it is it releases liability if you get hacked. So I would recommend to make sure it's strong. I'm going to go ahead and move this over off a screen, put in my password real quick, and I'll click hide and bring it back over. And so you see I have the website, my password in, shows it's strong. Make sure it's administrator, double check all your information, and once you are good to go, then click on add new user. And this is going to go ahead, create the new user. Next thing we're going to do is actually log out, so we're not under the administrator for start, and we can get in under our own name. And just so you know, if you're wanting your own picture here instead of the little profile fake image here, you can do that with gravatar.com, gravatar.com. It's part of a WordPress feature that you can get with your WordPress.com account. And if you want to know how to do that, you can check my YouTube channel for the video walkthrough on how to get your Gravatar set up. So we're going to go ahead, go under How to Start, and click Log Out. Now that we're logged out, you're going to put in the information or the username and password that you just created. If you want to do Remember Me, you can. I got ahead of myself. We're going to close this out, and the next thing we're going to do is come down and start, or come over here to the side and start from the side and work our way down and build our website. So the first thing you're going to see is there's updates that need to be made. So you're going to click on Updates. And anytime you do any updates whatsoever, especially plugins, you're going to want to make sure that this has 100% for the compatibility with the version of WordPress. And you can find out here, it says you have the latest version of WordPress, and it shows that it's version 4.9 right here. Excuse me. So you can see you're running 4.9. It's at 100% compatibility down the line. So we're going to go ahead and click Select All and Update Plugins. Now, this process could take some time, so don't stress if it takes you a good 2 or 3 minutes to get it, or if you get a site down due to scheduled maintenance or some warning like that. If you do get a warning like that, keep in mind sometimes it may cache that site on your browser, so you may need to clear your cache. But for right now, we're just going to sit here and wait and let this update these plugins, and then continue moving through the site. So I'm going to time-lapse this. We'll see in a second. Okay, so we are back, and if you scroll down through all this, you'll see it says all updates have been completed. If you have any warnings here, most of the time you can go ahead and ignore those. We're going to go ahead and click on Return to Plugins page. And actually it's Return to Updates page, but you can reach that by hitting this icon up here that has the circle, or go under Dashboard and click on Updates. And then you see the theme has an update. So you're going to go ahead and we're going to check the box and click Update Themes. Once again, this may take a few minutes. Don't worry if it seems to be taking a while. As long as you see this green little circle spinning, that means it's still working. Just keep that in mind. And of course, you see here it says everything has been successful. So the next thing we're going to do is go from top to bottom and just continue to move down. Posts. For those of you who aren't familiar with WordPress, this is going to get a little bit, or those of you who are familiar, this is going to get a little basic for you, so you may want to fast forward the video a little bit. For those of you who aren't familiar with WordPress, posts are going to be where you blog, and you can click on all posts and see what posts are currently there, which there should not be any, and there's not, because we haven't written one yet. In the template that I created, I removed all the garbage placeholders that are just wasting space. So this is where you would add new posts. We're not going to do any of that right now. We're going to come down. We're not going to need anything in media. You're going to click on pages. I just want to show you a few things. We're going to get into how to build a page once we go through some more of the settings, but I just want to let you know one quick disclaimer. Speaking of disclaimers, the earnings disclaimer, privacy policy, and terms of use agreement are legal pages They are not mandatory to have on the site, but if you do choose to use the templates that I've put together for you, I ask that you please seek legal counsel before you use them. I am not a lawyer, nor do I claim to be, and I shouldn't be listened to when it comes to stuff like that, just being honest. So make sure you look these over yourself, have a lawyer look them over, and make sure they're good to go. So that being said, like I said, we'll cover how to create a page here in a little bit, and creating posts are basically the same way as pages for the most part. So next thing is your comments. We're not going to cover that because there's no comments there. Next thing is formidable. This is going to be your form for your contact page. It's already created. If you want to edit that, you can check out the formidable video on YouTube that I created for you guys. Next thing we're going to do is hover over appearance and go to themes. And the reason we're doing this is, if you notice, you're going to have some of these default themes installed, and you're going to want to remove those. So everything is down to the bare bones and only have on your site what you need. So we're going to hover, click delete, hit OK, hover over it, click on it, delete, OK, and one more. Okay, now that those are deleted, you should only have the Ocean WP installed. Next thing you're going to do is come down to customize, and this is where you start seeing the changes in the site. And if you haven't yet, you can come over to the site when you're logged in and not see the coming soon page, so you can actually look at the site as it sits right now. And you see it's got a placeholder logo, basic menu, some social media icons, and then some basic placeholders down here. And don't worry, this stuff can all be changed. And this is just a link to my Instagram account, so you can deal with this stuff and change all this out to your own content. And that's what we are getting ready to do. So the first thing you're going to do under customize is click on site identity, and then you're going to go ahead and want to name it. So we're going to do SHMOOGA start hustle motivate great on Gary's advice. Okay, now you have your title and tagline in. The next thing you're going to want to do is have the site icon there. So we're going to remove the placeholder and click select the image. And I have it over here in one of these windows. We're just going to drag it over. And this image needs to be, it's best if it's a PNG, so the background can be transparent. So as you see up here in this section, InMotion just has these two red bars for theirs. And this is going to be ours. We're going to come down here and do, anytime you upload an image, you want to make sure you add alt text and description. It's just going to be SHMOOGA icon for website, description, icon, and favicon for SHMOOGA website, and click select. Alright, so now that that's there, you can see up in the window we got the favicon set up. So now you're going to come up here and click publish. This is going to go ahead and publish those changes and save them. Then we're going to click back and get back to the main customize section. Login customizer. This is where you would change this stuff for your login page. Once again, I'm not doing this, so this is something you'll just have to do on your own. Just simply because I'm working on getting the site up. The back end stuff for us isn't important right now visually, as far as that's concerned. So I'm going to go ahead and back out of that. Menus, you can change in different sections. They are all already set for you as far as the menu here and the menu down here with the legal pages. So we're not going to touch that. We're going to back out. Widgets we won't touch. Homepage settings. This is just basically to show what your homepage is going to be. Once again, we're going to do this in a different section. Simply because we need to have a home page to set the static home page to, and since we don't have that yet, we're not going to be able to do that. General options, this is where you're going to start seeing a lot of changes into the site. So we're going to start with general styling, and you're going to want to choose the colors that you want to use here. And I'm not 100% sure I have these colors in the right order, but we're going to click select color. You can choose from the wheel here or if you know your color code, you can paste it in right here, and that is the wrong color. So let me grab this other code real quick and paste that in, and I keep doing the wrong one. And paste that in, and then come down to the primary color for the hover, and then we're going to put the other number in. Oh, I lost it. Okay, here we go. And we'll paste that in, come down here, and change the color for the hover down here as well, which should be the same for the hover across your entire site. And once you have that done, click Publish, and back out of General Styling. General Settings is next. You're going to want to make sure all these settings are the same. Choose your layout for your pages. I'm going to select the one that has no sidebars, and we're going to keep coming down. And then this is for your search results page. I'm going to keep the sidebar. That's going to be something we're going to cover later. And so we're going to go ahead and click Publish, and then back out of General Settings and do Page Title. And as you come down here, you'll see Link Color Hover is going to be one you're going to change here. Click Publish, scroll back up, back out. You won't need to touch the scroll to top. Pagination, forms, theme buttons, you will need to change the color here. Since I already have this one covered, we're going to paste this. Come grab the other color code, paste this in background color. And other than that, you're good to go on that one. So publish and back out. And then you have error page, which you're not going to touch. So we're going to back out of general options again, go into typography, general, I think maybe, there we go, logo, maybe not. Yeah, okay, I think we're good on the typography. And then you're going to click on header, and this is where you're going to start seeing a lot of the general changes. So we're going to click general here under header. And you can decide if you want to make it full width where it stretches everything. The only problem is it doesn't leave much space here. So I'm not going to do that for this video. And you could change the height if you want to and make it super tall or super narrow or whatever. But if you followed along for the proper logo sizes and stuff, you're going to want to make sure this stays at 100. Go ahead and drop that down one. And I'm not saving header media. This is where if you wanted to have a fancy header with the logo, or I'm sorry, with video and stuff like that, you would do that here. We are not going to, so we're going to back out. We're going to click on logo, and here's where you're going to upload your logo for the header, the main header, like right here. So I'm going to go ahead and remove these two, and then I'm going to select logo, and we're going to upload files, and I'm going to come over here and grab these two logos. I'm going to select both of them and drag them both over so it uploads both of them for me. And then the first one you're going to do is the regular sized logo, which is the one at 320 by 100. We'll just do SHMOOGA logo, SHMOOGA logo, regular, and select. And then you're going to want to stretch this out to fit the entire box and hit crop image. And there you have it. Logo's up. Now you're going to need to do the Retina logo for when they're opening it up on Retina display screens. Make sure it's high resolution and all that fun stuff, which should be double the size of the original one. So it's 640 by 200. We're going to go ahead and do SHMOOGA Retina logo. SHMOOGA Retina logo, and choose image. Okay, now that you have those done, next thing you're going to do is click publish to save it and get that live, and then back out from logo, come down to menu, and then you're going to change the hover color for this, and we're going to go ahead and grab this code again. Paste that in. Oh, wrong color. And paste that in. There we go. That's much better. And then you're going to want to do top border color. Same thing. This is going to be the primary. Okay, now that we have that, keep scrolling down. Everything else is in grays, and we're not going to touch that. We're just changing the blues to green and hit publish. And of course, you can go through here and change these colors if you want to match different things. I'm not going to, simply because it would take 4 or 5 hours if I went through and tried to show you what every feature did in here. Social media is next. And you'll want to make sure the social color is set, and you put the URLs for the social media sites that you want to list here. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to change the social color here. Okay, now that you have that, the next thing, like I said, you're going to type in your URLs. And since we're doing this for Gary, I'm going to go ahead and put in his stuff, Gary V. And also, I didn't realize this. This is set to the regular protocol. We're going to go ahead and add the S in here to change the protocol, because I know these sites have the SSL certificate. And we're going to do Gary V. And if you wanted to do more, you could. I'm going to go ahead and go over to YouTube. And we're going to go Gary V. And we're going to open up his site. Now, what I'm going to do, all right, what I'm going to do is something a little different. Instead of grabbing his URL here for YouTube, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to not click on the subscribe button, but I'm going to put my mouse over it and right click. Maybe not. For some reason, it's not working for me here. Hold on. Well, I guess I am doing that because for some reason it's not showing it. But if you're doing it on yours, let me open it up on mine and see. They may have changed this. I don't really know if they have or not. Let me go ahead and log in here. Maybe, maybe not. And we're going in this one. All right, let's try this again. All right, so we're going to go to my channel. And it's not going to show me. But basically you should, and I don't know why it's not working for some reason. You used to be able to right click on subscribe and get the URL for the subscribe button. But I'm not going to bore you guys with stuff and try to figure this out. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy his URL for YouTube and come down here and enter that into YouTube. And there's a couple others. Like I know he's on Tumblr and LinkedIn and these others, but I'm not going to add those. I'm just going to leave it with the 4, and I'm going to hit publish. And then I'm going to back out. And mobile menu. You can go ahead and change this stuff if, once again, you can change whatever. But for right now, the only thing we're going to do is the link color. So we're going to go ahead and grab that color code. I keep selecting way more than I'm planning on this other screen over here. You guys would laugh if you could see it. So we're going to get that set and hit publish. And then we're going to back out of mobile menu and back out of header. Next thing is the blog. And then, there's settings. You can choose how you want it set. I have everything the way I believe it should be set based on my preferences. Once again, you can change it if you want to. I would recommend that you test the waters, go through, play with some stuff, and figure out what's best for you once you get your site up. So we're going to come down, sidebar, change the titles, border color, and hit publish. I don't think that took, there we go. All right, so now that you have that done, scroll back to the top, back out of the sidebar. Footer widgets you won't need to touch. We're going to do them in a little bit. Footer bottom, this is where you can change this information right here. If you don't want to keep the credit here for the training I did for you guys, I just have this here. You can go ahead and come back through up to the free, and then you would just go ahead and delete that like that right there. And these short codes will automatically fill out your site information down there. And then, of course, any links that are down here, you can change this to actually have that color. There we go. Okay. And we're going to do that and hit publish. And then we're going to back out. Okay, and then we're going to just hit the X, and this is going to take us back to the dashboard. And then if you come back to the site and refresh, you will see the changes that have been made. So you see it just has SHMOOGA at the bottom, and it's got all the social media sites that go to Gary's pages. The menu's still there, logo, new logo, all that fun stuff. So we're going to come back to... Did I lose the page I was on? I think I did. Anyways. So we're back here. We're done with the customize. We're not going to touch the widgets yet because we're going to want to look into a few things for that. Menus, this is where you're going to add the menu items once you create your pages. Of course, we're not going to touch that. Next thing are plugins. And I'm going to just do a quick run through of what these plugins are, what they do, why they're there, and what you should do if you should use them or not use them or whatever. So basically put the dashboard widget manager. This is how I'm able to get that stuff from CJ widget that's in your dashboard. If you do not want that, you can deactivate this and delete it. The next one is admin block country. This is an awesome plugin that helps block people from accessing your admin side of the site and your dashboard if they're not in your country. Which most hackers are not here in the US, so this really helps. So we're going to go ahead and click activate, and this just helps for, if people across the globe try to access your backend. It's just the extra security blanket, and we're going to cover the setup for this here in a second. Akismet anti-spam is great. I'm not going to activate this right now because I don't want to have to go through the trouble of creating the account. Please check out the Akismet tutorial that I have on my YouTube channel for that. Blueberry PowerPress, this is how you actually create a podcast on your website. Coming soon page, of course, this is the coming soon page that I showed you when we first did the site. Custom login page, you can deactivate this by just clicking deactivate. I no longer need the plugin, will work for me, and we'll type in X and submit and deactivate. Okay, so we don't need that. I'm going to go ahead and deactivate that one. Duplicate post does exactly what it says. I'm not going to touch this. Easy theme and plugin upgrades is awesome, but you really don't need this unless you're using a premium theme that doesn't push the update into your dashboard. If you're using a theme like Salient, which is one of my other favorite WordPress themes. Featured image generator is a cool way to get featured images if you don't have Photoshop. I'm not going to go into that right now. Once again, check the video on YouTube. Fonts allows you to have the Google font library in your dashboard. That's pretty awesome. Of course, Formidables for forms. Hello Dolly's a default plugin. This is nothing you need. You can delete this. Jetpack, you'll want to activate this. Once again, video on YouTube. Ocean Extras, just the extra stuff that comes with it. Pretty Links allows you to create a share URL. So instead of, for Gary, instead of having it be, this huge link, you can come in here and create a link that says shmooga.com/YouTube Gary or, YTG, and it automatically will redirect it over to his YouTube channel here. So keep moving down the line. Remove query strings from static resources. This is just one of them small things that will help increase your load time. Starbox is an author box. If you're doing a lot of blogging, I would recommend using this. URL short codes for the legal pages. I have these short codes here, URL base, which allows the domain that this site is installed, or this installation, this template is installed on, to display the domain of it. So the privacy policy and terms of use and stuff will have your domain on it if you look at the page itself, but the source code has a short code. So you can deactivate this and just go through and change that content out on those pages if you continue to use them. We're not going to get into Velvet Blues. W3 Total Cache is a cool caching plugin, which once again speeds the speed of your website up. We're not going to touch WooCommerce. I use this as a template when I build, no matter what theme I use. Unfortunately, with this theme, without buying the upgrade, the free version is not compatible with WooCommerce, so just keep that in mind. Of course, you know WP Clone, we just used it, and Yoast SEO is your search engine plugin that allows you to have some really cool features to edit everything. So now we've done users, you know how to delete and add new users. Tools, nothing here that you're going to need. Next thing is settings. And in order to do the settings, of course, Dashboard Manager, that's the ABD, what is it, right? ABD, yeah, ABD Dashboard Widget Manager is that one. And then, of course, the Coming Soon page, which if you click on that, I'm going to show you how, you just basically come in here and click Disabled and Save All Changes, and that will put the website live, so anyone who goes to it will now see this website. Keep it enabled, although I will say keep it enabled until we're finished, and then we're going to take the site live once the site is built. Next thing is SEO. We're not going to touch that. Elementor, we're not going to touch that. Theme panel, won't touch that. Pretty Links is the plugin I showed you, and we can go ahead and add a new link, and I'll show you what that does. We're going to copy this link again and come over here and let this load. Okay. Everything I do, if I plan on using that short link a lot, I'll do it 301 permanent. You'll put the target URL in, and then right here we can do, GVYT. YT. And I know this goes, and then, this is titles for your own personal reference, so you can just put Gary's YouTube. And you can do notes if you want, advanced options. It's set from the gate this way. If you want to create groups so you can track different groups and how they work, I'd recommend that. And I also strongly recommend making sure this stays checked for tracking, so you can see how many visitors you have, stuff like that, and click create. And now anytime someone goes through this link right here, to automatically redirect them over to the YouTube channel. Next thing is block country, and since we went ahead and activated that, we're going to go ahead and come in here, scroll down, click select all, and it's going to select every country with the exception of the country that you're in. So if you're building this in the United States, it won't allow anything outside of the United States. It'll make everything check but the United States. If you're in South Africa, same concept. It'll block the US, it'll block all countries but South Africa. So once you have everything checked, and of course it checks it, but you cannot block your own country. So don't worry about that. So we're going to go ahead and click block. And once that's finished, the next thing is fonts. We won't touch that. Performance, we won't touch that. And then, of course, WP Clone. So those are the plugins. That's the way everything is set. Now that everything, the basic install, basic setup is complete, the next thing we're going to do is get started building our homepage. So we're going to start by coming over here and hovering over pages and click on add new. You can also hover over new in the top bar and click page. But for right now, we're just going to go to pages and add new. And this is where you're going to have to really think about how you want your website built if you haven't done the planning stage yet, and what you want it to say, and names and content, all that fun stuff. We're going to start by just doing SHMOOGA, and then I'm going to actually spell this out here and do start hustling. Now start hustle motivate and operate on Gary's advice. All right. And once you get that done, there's a few things I need you to do. We're going to come down here and we're going to cover over header, and we're going to disable top bar. Actually, no, we're not. Yeah, we're going to disable top bar, and then we're going to go to title. We're going to disable page title, and everything else should be good. Come back to main. Make sure the content layout is 100% full width. And from there, you're going to come up here and click Save Draft. This is going to save all this information and get you ready to go into the page builder. Now that we have that done, we're going to do the page builder. We're going to open it up in Elementor. And this is going to go ahead and open the page to start building your home page. And you see it's full width, everything's set up, and it's a blank canvas. So at this point, you can do one of two things. You can start from scratch, or you can choose some of their templates and move forward with your templates. If you wanted to do a template, you just click on Add Template, and then you look through your templates and see if there's one of these that you would like to use. You know, for instance, if you think you like it, you can go ahead and click this magnifying glass, and it shows you a template preview, if you will, so you can see what the page would look like. If you wanted to just go in and replace the images and the content, you can do that by just clicking Insert, and then all the information will be there. I am not going to be using a template. I'm going to start from scratch. So we're going to do Add New Section. And I know this one is going to be a different type of setup. So we're going to go ahead and choose this layout. First thing we're going to do here is add a video. Okay. And then you're going to click the pencil. We're going to edit this. And we're going to come over to YouTube and grab the video we want. So I'm going to just go ahead and do CJ Halleck. We'll go into my video or videos. Okay. Ooh, that was rough. I'm going to grab this video, which is the placeholder right now. And basically there will be another video here. I need to finish the site. For lack of a better term, I need to finish the site in order to make the video. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this URL and come over here. And I'm going to go ahead and paste that in right here. So it'll automatically pull in the video for you. And then the next thing you're going to want to do is, or the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and add an image. Right? And you can come in here and just do image. And I'm going to add an image. So I'm going to drag this over here. And then I'm going to delete this placeholder and upload an image. And upload. And I'm going to drag this over here. And then of course, again, alt text and description. And I'm going to go ahead and you want to do more than just be super basic with this. You don't want to stuff the keywords in it. And it's best if you don't have it the same for the title, alt text, and description. But I don't want to go through the time and waste your guys' time watching me type stuff out. So I'm going to just go ahead and keep it like that. Okay, and now you can come up here and we can add a margin to the top. And I'm going to actually, let's look at style. It's this one, right? That's what I was doing wrong. Yeah, we need to unbreak that. So that's what I was doing. See, even I mess up, so don't stress. And I'm going to actually uncheck this and add the top padding to bring this down. We'll go ahead and do 55. Looks about right. And basically from here, I'm going to go ahead and click on this and edit the setting for this row. And I'm going to come down and change this to 50-50 to kind of make this a little more even. And then I'm going to come back to advanced and drop this back down to 0. Okay, and then I'm going to come in here and edit this row. And somewhere, where did I see it? I'm missing it somewhere. Looking for background. There we go. Style, background. Normal, classic, color. And I already know the background color I want to use, so I'm going to go ahead and grab this off of the other page and paste that in there. And once I have that color, we're good. I'm going to come back over here to this and make sure everything is set. So let's make sure and change the bottom, and I'm basically trying to get this flush. Alright, so we're 9 and 9, that way that's flush. And then I'm going to come in here to the video. We'll go style, advanced. Alright, so I'm going to come in here and do the same thing with this. I'm going to add a margin to the, no I'm not, padding. Uncheck the box, and I'm going to add some padding to the top, kind of get this more towards the middle. And I think that looks about good for me, so I'm going to go ahead and click save. Alright, so now we're on to the next section, and let me look and see here. I got it all drawn up on a piece of paper, and so I know the next section. We're ready to go ahead. We'll do add new section. It's going to be full width, and it's just going to be a text. So we're going to do heading, and this is going to be centered, and then we're going to do start, hustle, motivate, and operate on Gary's advice. Okay, so we got that. You can do a link if you want. I'm going to go ahead and not use a link. You can do default size. You can change the size. I'm going to keep it up large. The only thing left to do, we're going to come into style and change the color of the text to the dark green here. And of course you can do advanced. If you want to add some more spacing to it, you can do that here. You can change the background color, you know, stuff like that. We're not going to touch any of that. I'm going to go ahead and save and move forward with the site. And we're going to do the next section. So we're going to do add new section, and this is going to be kind of like a basic setup. We're going to do this here. We're going to add image, and we're going to delete this. Oh, no, delete here. And then we're going to upload the image we want here. We're going to stay. I did not do that properly. Alright, now we can do that. Okay. Get that brought in. And this is Gary Vaynerchuk with arms crossed. And I'm going to just go ahead, paste that in, and insert media. And then I'm going to come into style, and actually, once again, I keep going to the wrong thing. So I'm going to go to advanced, and I'm going to drop the padding down. Well, let me change the background color first. Edit section. We're going to change the background color to the dark green. And then back to the image, and you're going to want to, at this point, make sure you drop it down to match. All right, there we go. All right, so that's set. I'm actually going to undo this. Let's drop it down. Having technical difficulties today, I'm telling you. All right, so the top needs to be down to 0. And put this back to 0. Okay, there we go. And I'm actually going to let's add some top spacing and make this a little bit taller. Add some space over his head. Okay, and now this section here, I'm going to go ahead and do a text editor and bring this in. And this is going to be actually, and this is what I'm talking about. Stuff will change in the process of it. So we're going to come down and grab the testimonial. And we're going to go ahead and start with a quote. And I'm using the testimonial just because the layout is already like good to go for me. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this. Well, maybe not. Okay. Copy the quote that I have from Gary that I want here. There we go. Okay, let's back this up. And then we're going to delete the image. I'm not going to use the image. And then we're going to just come in here and do Gary Vaynerchuk. Chief hustler in charge. Okay, we'll make sure it's centered. Or you can do different sizes, you know, if you want. I actually like that. So I'm going to go ahead and keep that way. And then we're going to come up to the style, content color. We're going to take this to white. Name, white. And then job, I'm going to actually take this to a light gray, not quite white, just to make it stand out. And then do advanced, and then we're going to come in here and drop this down so it's in the middle. We'll just do 70. I think that looks right. And click save. Okay, so now we have this going. And we're on to the next section. And this section is going to be a fun one for me. So we're going to go ahead and do add new section, and it's going to be 5 across, and this is going to be all his books. Just kind of a way to showcase what he's selling, what he's doing. So we're going to start with the first one. We're going to drop in an image, delete the image, and then we're going to start dropping in his books. So we're going to start in order of the release. See, I keep doing that. Don't do what I'm doing with this. So we're going to click stay. Hit this, upload files, and if you want, I'm dropping these in one at a time. You can go ahead and load all your content up front, so it's already in your media library if you want to. And if you wanted to do that, I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick, just so you see what I'm talking about. And I'm going to do it on screen. Okay, so if you hold down Shift and use your arrows, you can cover all of the images you have and then drag them in all at once, and it will upload all the images at one time. Or it should. There we go. Okay. I was about to say that and it did not work. Of course, I'm on camera and stuff would go wrong. But anyways, so once you get that stuff going, you can go ahead and choose. There we go. Choose the image you want to start with. We're going to go ahead and do Crush It Book. Crush It Book by Gary V. Okay, and then we're going to click Insert Medium. So that's going to set the first image there. And you can come down here and choose link to. We'll do a custom URL, and I'm going to come over here and do Crush It, Gary Vaynerchuk, Amazon. And we'll go ahead and grab the link for his Crush It book and Control C. Come back over here and drop in that URL and hit save. And then we're going to just keep going, adding the different pieces. So we're going to bring the image in, delete, and then we're going to do thank you economy. That is not his name. There we go. Okay, and insert media. And then I'm going to come back over here, open up in Amazon for that one. Copy that. Back to Elementor, come down here, do custom URL, and drop this in and hit save. Now, these are not affiliate links. I just want to go ahead and put that out there. I do have some affiliate commission stuff associated with this website. If you're walking through the tutorial, of course, I do have the affiliate association with InMotion Hosting, and maybe a few others. I don't know where I'm at right now with that, as far as what you're seeing and whatnot. So I will cover and let you know if there is anything as far as that's concerned. So I'm going to just do insert media. And I'm going to just continue to go through and do this. And you'll see as we're moving along, it's very simple steps really when you look at it, but it actually, comes across and changes the look of the site when you start as you start building this out and getting everything going. Save, and the next one is delete. Next one should be Ask Gary V. There we go. Ask. Okay, and last but not least, we have, almost forgot to do the link. Why didn't you guys say something? So back to do the Ask Gary V book. And I'm going to actually do this and open this a new tab. That way it's already ready for me. We'll copy this one, come back to the Elementor, and drop in the link. Hit save. And you don't have to save every time. I do just simply because I don't want to risk it, risk losing it. Okay, now we'll delete the image, upload the image, crushing it, pre-order, crushing it by Gary Vaynerchuk now. Insert media. All right, so now we have that. We're going to come over here, grab the Crushing It link for the pre-order. Of course, it's not January yet. So it's going to have to be a pre-order. I highly recommend that you guys grab that if you have not already. We're going to paste that in and hit save. And now we're down to the next section. If I can find my paper. Okay, next section is going to be very basic and easy for me. Basically, it's just a tutorial or testimonial. Tutorial, there we go. And we're going to come over, click on this to get these back up. We're going to scroll down to testimonial, drop that in. And this is going to be my personal testimonial that I have written for this. And it's playful a little bit, but nonetheless, get in here, paste that in. And then, of course, you'll want to change the image, so I'll delete that, add new. And somewhere I have... another image that did not come over for some reason. And I'm trying to find it. That's a headshot of myself. There we go. Okay. So there we go. Okay. So I have my headshot image that I'm going to use for the testimonial. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that in here. Alt text CJ Halleck, CJ Halleck, insert media, and then you just come down and change out the name. Author, web design, hustler. There we go. And you can choose how you want it. You know, if you want it on top, it'll look like that. And that's actually how I'm going to leave it, so you can get a good idea on how this works. And if you want, you can come back in and edit these at any time. You can change how the alignment is, you know, like I showed you before on the other one. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And actually, I'm worried that this is going to blend together. So we're going to go under style and we're going to change, or maybe advanced. Let's see, background. Okay. And we're going to change the background color. Keep it simple. I'm going to just go with like a light gray. There we go. I like the way that looks. And then the next thing I'm going to do is basically, right? Did I miss it? I think I missed it. There we go. I'm going to add padding to the top and the bottom, just to make sure there's some space and it doesn't necessarily stack on top of each other. And I'm going to keep it nice and big. So we'll do 30 and 30. Okay. And then, of course, you know, you can continue to mess with this stuff. We're going to go back to style. And turn the typography on. Make that a little bigger. We're going to make the image a little bigger. All right. And then let's do the same up here, actually, while I'm thinking about it. And let's make Gary's name a little bit bigger. Okay. Now the job, let's make that a little bigger. There we go. Okay. And now we can actually come in here. We can drop this a little bit. There we go. I kind of like the way that looks. And you continue to play with this stuff. You know, as I finish this build, you're going to notice there's not a lot of stuff that's going to be dead set with this. You may find stuff later on down the line you may want to change. Of course, you're going to want to do that when the time comes to it. And I'm actually going to come back in here, and I'm going to actually add quite a few. Let's do 75 here. Actually, yeah, let's do 80. Okay, and this is basically to keep the content blocked off and looking right. And like I said, you'll continue to go through. You'll find new stuff that you want to change as time goes through. Remember, it's totally fine. Nothing that's going to stop you from doing that. And as you notice, I have this gray background here. And it doesn't go full width. See, I can't talk today. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually copy this color code. Not that I need to. That's an easy one to remember. And I'm going to come up here to the row, and I'm going to edit this section of the row. That way I can go ahead and change the entire background color so it'll match. There we go. Okay. We'll save that. Okay. And then, you know, I'm looking here. I see this extra space on the bottom that's not on the top here. So I can come in here, and then I can add some extra padding on the top, kind of bring that down. There we go. Okay. Then moving down, the next one is a new section. I'm going to do 3 little call to actions, if you will. That's super, super awesome. So the first one, we're going to do image. And the first one is going to be where it started. And this is going to be a cool little write-up, web 2.0. Cool little write-up page that I'm going to create talking about my experience when I first saw Gary doing this video, which wasn't the first time. I'd watched him a few times, 2-3 months or so on Wine Library before I saw this video, but still, regardless, it's awesome. Web 2.0, Gary V. Gary Vaynerchuk, Web 2.0 keynote. Insert media. All right, now we're going to go ahead and go to this section. Do advanced. And that's not what I want. All right, maybe it's in this section. There we go. All right, so we're going to do -10 all the way around. Next one, another image. And I don't have the pages or anything built for these yet, which is the reason why I'm not doing a link. Next one is how to start. How to start Gary V. Gary Vaynerchuk. How to start tutorial. Insert media. Okay. And then now we're going to come in here, do the same thing here. And then -10. All right. Then we're going to do the next one. And there we go. And insert media. And then right back to the advanced. Oh, nope, wrong way. All right, there we go. So we have those down. Next one is going to be a small call to action. And it's going to go full width. We're going to go ahead in here. Full width content. Style. Let's make this the lighter green. Actually, no. Let's make this a yellow. And then we're going to add a heading. We're actually going to change the layout too. So we're going to come down, reset structure. Wait a second. Style, right? Why is it not working? All right, so if you have issues, let me show you what the awesome thing about this is. Hit the X button and delete it. All right, new section. And I'm going to go ahead and do this one. And then we're going to do the entire background in that yellow. So we'll come back to style, background, and we're going to pick a yellow. So let's... There we go, that works. Okay, so now you have the yellow for the background. And now we're going to come in here and add a heading. And we're going to do pre-order crushing it. And let's go ahead and add some parentheses or quotes around it. All right. right, and I'm going to go ahead and center this content. We'll drop it down, add some padding to the top to make this kind of come across in the middle. And then the next thing we're going to do, we're going to add a button. Look, it's already green. Okay, so right here we're going to put a pre-order. That just doesn't look right. Pre-order here. All right, we'll hit center to center that, and then once again we're going to come in here, uncheck, and then we're going to add some padding here. Yeah, it looks about right. All right, so yep, see, it's not. So we're going to go ahead and change this and add some more, and I think it was 9 was the padding set. Okay, looks good to me. Okay, so now we have this. We do need to change this color, and we need to add the text for the, yeah, that'll work. Okay, we'll have to change the link for this, and you could change, put an icon in there. So we'll just put the Amazon link, and then we need to link, copy, and back to the Elementor, and put in the link, and hit save. And the next thing we're gonna do, nope. Add new section, and this is going to be very basic for me, and this is just basically, and the main thing I want you guys to understand, this is a disclaimer stating that I am not, and this website is not affiliated with Gary Vaynerchuk. This is built by fans for fans, so I'm just going to go ahead and do a quick little write-up. This website and its content is not associated in any way with Gary Vaynerchuk or his, let's put Gary Vaynerchuk, his businesses or employees. This website is built by fans for fans. Please enjoy. Let's capital that E. I like the way that looks better. Enjoy. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead with this. Make sure this is under style. Make sure this is set centered. And I'm going to actually increase or get the site or the text not all the way across. I just want to make sure it's nice and small and clean. And then other than that, that's all I have aside from getting down into the content in the footer. So we have the content here. The thing you're going to need to understand is it's not always going to be perfect. And so that being said, what you're going to need to do is make sure that this is responsive. So when you view the different parts of the website, it looks right. And so what you're going to do, and you can change the sizing if you want to see how the full site looks. And then of course, as you see, when you do that, you'll find issues, which we did. So we're going to back this back out, and I'm going to edit this and change this to full width. Okay, so now if you drop that back again, you'll see it stretches full width across the page. And so you look at its site, you can see how it looks, how it feels. And then you're going to want to make sure it's responsive by coming down to this section and changing how it sits, and choose the tablet first and look at it. And this is how it will view on a tablet. And I like the way that looks. I don't necessarily care for the footer. But unfortunately, there's not much you can do for the footer. The footer will continue to be at the bottom of the page no matter what. So I wouldn't stress Not many people are going to get to the footer when it comes to tablets and smartphones. So next thing we're going to do is check mobile and see how this looks on mobile. Now, I know this is not going to look right. So I can actually click on this. Here, where we go? Is it style? I think. Advanced, responsive. Okay. And then you can actually come in here and click hide on mobile. So this image is not going to show up on mobile. And you can do the same across the other things if you wanted to hide it. But because it sits off center, and there's no reason to see this on mobile, I'm not going to leave this live on mobile. We're going to come through and look. We have the books. We got the content. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with this testimonial. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this on mobile. Do advanced, responsive, and hide on mobile. And click save. All right. So now we're good to go across the page. The last thing we're going to need to do is this footer. So right now we're going to go ahead and make sure you're saved. And then from here you're just going to, of course, make sure this finishes spinning before you click out of it. And of course you might not see it on the video, but there's a very tiny green bar that's going across the top. And it's just making sure that's the progress bar, so you know where it's at as far as the save process goes. And of course you get the notification there. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to click this X and click, actually I'm going to right click and do view page. And then I'm going to click on go to dashboard. So we're going to open this up on a separate page so we can see how this looks. Get a good idea for the look and feel of the website. I like the way it looks so far. So the next thing we're going to do is dig in. So we're going to come back to the dashboard. We're going to dig into a few different things. The first thing is the snippet and the way the focus keyword, stuff like that. I'm going to put my focus keyword as SHMOOGA. For no reason whatsoever other than just to get the word in there. And then you're going to see it shows, and this is all SEO, Yoast SEO plugin. It'll tell you what needs to be fixed and what you need to do. And so I'm going to come in here. We're going to do SHMOOGA. And actually, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to come up here and do this. Copy this. We're going to paste that in there. The slug doesn't matter because this is going to be the home page, but the slug is basically anything after the backslash for the domain. But this is going to be shmooga.com. If you notice right now, it's just a stupid thing here. And that's also because this is still considered a draft. We haven't published it yet, which we're going to do here in a second. All right, here we go. Okay, go back down. And then you're going to want to write a description. We're going to just do Gary Vaynerchuk has inspired millions, and this site is to help encourage people to start. Take SHMOOGA today. And of course, I may come in from time to time and edit this stuff. And I would recommend you do the same, right? It's a living, breathing thing. You have to continue to give attention to it anytime you have a website. Otherwise, it's just going to drop in the rankings. You're not going to continue to get traffic to it if you write, one post every 6 months. So make sure you stay active and continue to tweak things until you're 100% happy with it. And if you're like me, you should never be 100% happy. You want to continue to evolve your marketing, your website, social media profiles, along with yourself. So we're just going to put Gary. Let's do follow at Gary V today. Okay. And that works for me. I'm not trying to rank for anything really with this. I'm going to just go ahead and hit publish just to get the site up and running. We got the page up. So now we're going to go over to settings and go under reading. And this is where we're going to change the static front page. So we're going to click a static page. Post will be the blog post. Homepage will be SHMOOGA. And we're going to come down here and click Save Changes. So now, if you go back to the site, we'll go on what the site was when we loaded it earlier before we started creating the page, and refresh, you will see the homepage is live with SHMOOGA and everything else for it. So we're going to look, make sure everything looks good. I'm happy with the way it sits. So now the next thing is to just do the footer and get this going. And I have different things set up in place that I'm going to put in the footer instead of all the placeholders. So some of them will be the same. Well, one of them, sort of. So we're basically going to hover over appearance and click on widgets. And you see these 4 footers. And I'm going to go ahead and minimize this. You see footer 1, footer 2, footer 3, footer 4. This is where that information is. I have the about section, so I'm going to just put about Gary Vaynerchuk. Image URL, we're going to go ahead and upload an image. I'm not uploading, but I already have it uploaded. So we're just going to put Gary Vaynerchuk. Okay, insert into post. And then I'm going to put his name in, Gary Vaynerchuk. So we'll put, maybe, there we go. Let's try this again. Gary is a serial entrepreneur. And CEO / co-founder of Vayner Media. Okay. We'll leave that right there. Social style. We're going to do light. Actually, we're not, because I'm going to go ahead and delete these. I'm not going to do the social links here. I'm going to go ahead and put them in a different location. Actually, no. Let's go ahead and do that. So we'll just do Gary V. YouTube. I don't have that saved, but because we did the short link, I know what it is. So we're just going to do http://shmooga.com GVYT. Okay, Facebook. We're going to do Instagram. And I already got, okay, so we're going to go ahead and save that. And we can come back to the home page and refresh. We don't need that one. We need this one. And refresh and see the changes. We got Gary's beautiful smile. A little bit of information down there about him. Next thing is we have this section, and this section. So we're going to come in. I'm not going to touch the Instagram, and footer 3 is going to actually move. I don't want it there. I have a different place I want to put it. So I'm just going to put follow Gary on Instagram, and then I'm going to put his username in here. Everything else, I like the way it sits. I like the display. So I'm going to just change the button to follow Gary V. and save. And then once again, you can come back here and hit refresh and see the changes. Him with the awesome Tim Ferriss. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm moving that over to footer 4. I'm not going to keep the same widget, if you will, in here for footer 4 for Gary, because I don't think, there's no point. You're not going to use contact information from Gary outside of social. So I'm going to drop this one here. I'm done with footer 1, done with footer 4. Now we need to footer 2 and footer 3. I'm not going to use images. I'm going to delete, or text. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to come in here and delete this. And then I'm going to come over to the side here and grab the image, and I'm going to drag up to the top. There we go. Drop that in, and then I'm going to add image. And I don't know if it was in that folder or not. It doesn't look like it was, so it's probably over in the other one. So go and grab that and drop that in. And this is a image that he had that linked out to his Medium account. So we're just going to put Gary Vaynerchuk Medium post. Featured image for Gary V Medium site. Okay, we're gonna make the custom link URL, and we're gonna go Medium Gary Vaynerchuk, and grab his link for Medium and copy. And come right back over to the widgets. We're going to put this in right here and hit add to widget. Okay. And it's already set up to link out, so we're going to click save. And the next one, we're going to do another image. Must have looked over it. Must be blind today, I'm telling you. There we go. I know I've probably passed by it 3 times. You can make fun of me. It's cool. And then add image, and I'm going to go upload files, and I did not get lucky enough to grab a pair of these, but I'm going to go ahead and put these in. These are the new Gary Vaynerchuk K-Swisses. Gary V K Swiss, new Gary V K Swiss shoes. And I'm going to do none on the link simply because I want to make sure everything sits right. I'm going to go ahead and change this to full size. I don't think the other one was. So I don't know how this is going to work. I may have to redo the phone thing. We'll find out here in a second. So we're going to refresh. See how this looks now. Because it should resize to fit the screen. It's just taking a second to reload here. There we go. The shoes aren't there. So we're going to come back here. It looks like it just finished saving, actually. So let's minimize this, bring it back up, and let's go back and refresh and double check. Okay, so it did bring it up, so I'm going to go ahead and come back into this one, and I'm going to go ahead and put this one back to full size and update and save. Make sure that saves, hit refresh, and there you have it. Header to footer, we have a website. The only thing you need to do now is to actually create your home button. Create an about page if you want to do that. So I'm going to just go ahead and do new page. And I'm going to come over to my Word document or my text document and copy this content, and I'm going to go about Gary Vaynerchuk. Vaynerchuk. Okay. Come down here we're going to change this slug to actually, let's keep it about Gary Vaynerchuk. Really don't need to change anything else here. I'm just going to come in here and drop the text that I had, and this was basically serial and if you're wondering what this software is, this is a awesome plugin for Google Chrome called Grambler. It's totally untouchable. It's helped me a lot. Of course you're gonna find stuff like this, and you can just hit ignore. But it helps you with the spelling. Helps me, better yet, with a lot of the spelling and missing things and stuff that I would think, stuff would be spelled right or whatever, and it just helps me find that stuff. So I'm just gonna go ahead. I have that there. I'm gonna go ahead and hit publish. Okay, now I'm gonna come under appearance and go to menus. And then I'm going to make sure that I choose the main navigation and hit select to make sure that menu shows up. And then I'm going to go ahead and check the home page and the about page and come down here and click add to menu. And then this is where you're going to drop the about page and home page, reorganize them. And if you want to drop down, you can do that by just moving this item over. But we're not going to do that right now. We come in here and we're going to change this to say home. And change this, and we'll leave that about Gary Vaynerchuk. Blog, contact, we'll save menu, and we're going to come over here and open up the website in a new tab. Take a look at it, double check everything, make sure everything is good to go, and I'm good with it. So basically put, that is a walk down on how to build a website. Hope this has been helpful. I hope you guys enjoy this. If there's any other questions you have, or if you can't find a specific tutorial on my YouTube channel or whatever, or if I forgot to upload one or something, I don't know the future. But feel free to reach out to me at CJ Hallock, CJHALLOCK, on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Shoot me a message. If there's anything I could do to help, I'd be glad to help you. Other than that, be great, stay boosted, get SHMOOGA, start, just start. It's that simple. And if you don't know who Gary V is and you've made it this far, please look him up. It's very important to me. I would not be who I am today without Gary Vaynerchuk, including many times, I say many times, but he's helped me get through some very hard times in my life on a personal level. So please send as much love his way, support, and let's, help him get the Jets. So that being said, have a good one. Be great. Stay boosted. It's CJ Hallock with CJHallock.com. Have a good day. Okie dokie. I know I said I was done.